Hello, and welcome back to the 2025 Deadly Showcase. And, you know, it wouldn't be a year of DROD without some war. Good old Kame, back at it again with another of probably, I say probably, but actually I'm absolutely certain. The War series has the most entries out of any, series of DROD holds that's ever been made. As far as I know, this is the only thing that Kame does, and Kame is the only person that does something like this. So, um, it's neat that people are using DROD in different ways. And what am I talking to here? Well, talking about here. Roaches, entrance 2. You must be joking. Okay, so we have a lack of roaches, for one thing. So what are the war holds? War is basically a bunch of combat arenas that have various gimmicks to them. Sometimes it'll look like it's just a bunch of random stuff that's been placed around, but they're often actually quite fun to play through. And sometimes there are some more intentional design choices involved as well. So just because it looks random doesn't necessarily mean it is. It's just kind of large blocks of enemies or elements placed in places, and you then try to make some sort of sense out of the chaos. So like this one, for example, we have these hot tiles over here. This looks pretty good for, well, for killing wubbas, I guess. These orbs, do they do anything? One of them does. 2 timers that are just going to release enemies over time. That's what a timer does. Does something over time. These rattlesnakes were a lot less scary than I was expecting, honestly. This rattlesnake did not cooperate. I was hoping it would... Man, these snakes are really not cooperating. Anyway. Fire traps make that a lot easier. In fact, you know what? Let's just wait for you. The puff managed to kill a wubba, I guess. Alright, well, that's one room done. Goblin King is not a required target. Okay, a brain. Well, I feel like I want to stab that brain as quickly as possible because the brain is preventing enemies from stepping on hot tiles. I'm not a huge fan of that. I like it when my enemies cook themselves. Alright. So dealing with these goblins is going to be the hard part. But with just 2 of them, I think we're fine. I'm just going to do this. Another thing which can be fun about war is optimizing. So that was very inefficient, as you can see. Also, multiple mimics is a fairly common thing in the war holds. I don't know if I was facing the right way. I'm not actually sure what I want to do here. It'll be easier to keep track of things. Maybe I want to stay in the entrance, actually. If I do this... Am I going to be able to do it fast enough? No.
Ow, that hurts.
So I need to get a few more baby kills. But not that many, I guess. Yeah, I need to be over here sooner. Oh, I don't need to worry about the gel babies catching up. Okay, that worked. It could have been way faster if I'd been closer to the entrance at the end, but I was not. Also, War tends to have repeated themes, so we might have a bunch of different timers here. Oh, it did work out. Okay. Yeah, so that was a little bit more efficient. And another timer. Okay, well that didn't work. I was trying to get them... Trying to get a bunch of kills on the hot tiles, because that's the only way... Maybe I have to do it like this? Oh, that worked. These wubbas are annoying. Let's just kill them, because we can. Well, there were roaches in some of those rooms. Skimp. What was that? Commander, are you back? Okay, this shouldn't be too hard, killing goblins with fire traps. Just depends on whether these engineers are doing anything. Because it's another thing about war. Is that they tend to use scripting. Nope. Okay, we got some slayers that we can kill. I guess we will just get these guys. No, it's not going to work. You know what? In fact, you know what would be a lot faster than what I was just doing there? Just running up here. There we go. Okay, the timer followed us from the previous level. Well, we've got all these mimics. I was hoping that this would... Well... This is not working out the way I had hoped. Alright, let's This is probably not going to be fast enough. This is so slow. Yeah. Maybe this will be good? Almost. I feel like we might have just lost. Yeah.
Ow, that hurts.
Okay, what we really want to do... First of all, let's have our sword facing the right way. Let's get you guys... elevated slightly. Okay, we got that roach to go up. That's what I was looking for. Unfortunately, we have too many roaches on this side still. Is there anything we can do about that?
Hey,
Not
I
quite.
died.
I suppose the other thing I can do is I can just stay at the entrance and use the mimics. To an extent. So I've been kind of ignoring the mimics up until now. But if I had you... The thing is, you're just a little bit too far over. Okay, but if my sword was facing the same way as yours, and then I... did something like this... no, it doesn't quite work. Okay, what I actually need to do... Use roach leverage, maybe? No. This sort of thing... the tar babies can't die in the hot tiles. These roaches are kind of a problem, honestly. Could I have moved you over one at a point during this? There. I'm getting extra kills here. I don't think that was quite fast enough, no. This is very specific. If we didn't have these two, this would be ideal. I think this is the kind of the setup I need. But no, if I'm still too many. Okay, maybe. Yes, okay. Yeah, that was pretty tight. Okay, this is just... perfect efficiency on the kills, and then I could have had... If I killed a gel baby at the end instead of the brain, I would have had a faster turn, I guess. Okay, this is what we're doing, huh? A lot of... let's just start with this orientation. What? Oh, there's a bomb there. Probably faster to use you. Now I have a problem where I don't have the leverage.
Ow, that hurts.
Okay, so that's actually the issue. So the actual trick here then was to do something like that. Get one more. Maybe three more.
Hey, I died.
Not quite.
Hey, I died.
Okay, close. So these, I don't really think I need to worry about. Those are pretty easy to get to. Don't really want to stab that. This is awkward now because I got that brain. This is two turns.
Ow, that hurts.
This isn't fast enough for one thing. And also don't have enough leverage for the other. Maybe it's not you. Maybe I have to use a different one? Oh, I don't even have to stab those. Okay. Funny. Thing is using this for leverage faster than just doing it myself? I got those still. I feel like my approach is wrong. Okay, well we can completely ignore those because they'll be blown up by the bomb. So let's just...
Hey, I died.
That wasn't actually too bad. If I had done that more efficiently...
Ow, that hurts.
Okay, well, I'm way too slow.
Ow,
At this
that
point, I might
hurts.
as well just go there myself. Okay, if I just ignore everything... I can do that. Can I do all of that in 4 turns, spending 4 extra turns to clear all of that?
Hey, I died.
1 turn too slow. Okay, what if I do that?
Ow, that hurts.
Can I use the bottom right mimic more efficiently? Have to wait a turn. there's our exit. Three. The obligatory massive horde of roach queens. Okay. So how is this going to play out? This might be terrible depending on the angle that these roaches are coming at me from. I mean, I can always just park using a roach queen for cover. Assuming I have enough. Am I able to make progress here? I don't think so. Well, I can do that. Okay. Yeah, roach queen horde tactics are interesting. So let's just make sure I'm always able to get myself right up next to a roach queen, then I'm not doing all of that nonsense where I'm going back and forth. Yeah, like this, what I just did there is really bad. So instead, we're just going to sit here until we've dealt with these roaches that are coming from the north. And now we can be more aggressive because we have those fire traps helping us out. Yeah, this kind of thing I do actually enjoy. Dealing with hordes of roach queens like this. It's just kind of interesting. An interesting tactical exercise. Okay, we still have one more fire trap there. But if I go any further over, then they're going to go spreading all across this. Which I don't really want. I'd rather them spreading along the bottom because then there's this, which might help. Might help. So I think at this point, I'm actually going to try to switch sides. The fire traps made this a lot easier than it would have been without. Okay. And we're just going to right, they do spawn eggs before that happens. No, and that was lucky timing there. But we're just going to let absolute chaos unfold here. And let that fire trap deal with some of these. Okay, once this backlog's been dealt with, they won't come back. Well, to an extent. Maybe this isn't the best strat. Needed to be down a little bit more. Yeah. I thought this would be good, but it turns out it's not good because I have this whole line to deal with. Okay, let's decide. Well, not a lot of checkpoints in this room. Let's just stick with. Stick with this. Okay, we managed to get there safely. Oh. I was hoping. Okay, there's a few too many roaches here. There we go. Maybe we ignore these and go for up here again. That didn't work. The problem was that all of this spawning happened. Which means that the next set should have far fewer roaches. There we go. No? I guess I can't get that. That was one turn too slow. Well, that's a few more queens down. Let's just get rid of these ones because they're... Okay, I think I did the thing I shouldn't have done. Where I didn't leave myself cover like that. Could do that, but... Okay, this is just not making progress. There we go, that's a lot better. I've lined myself up with another fire trap. Okay, we made it. Okay, so that's a lot better now, because now we have it cleaned up on the one side. So now, maybe we actually switch sides to avoid having these three run over here, because that's really what spawns a bunch of extra stuff. Yeah, let's just... Oh, that's awkward. Alright, and now if I go on to 2... A little bit awkward. Okay, I think I found a pattern. Oh, that was a bit of work, wasn't it? Ah, and another one of these. And unfortunately, I can't change my orientation to change their orientations, although that might actually be a good thing. Well, work to be done, right? Oh, are these not? Alright, easy enough. This looks decidedly less easy. We did not survive. I think surviving is really the trick here. I think having my sword opposite might be good. I could also advance. This is sketchy. Yeah, no. This isn't gonna work. If I move diagonally, I get more stabs. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Oh, brain's already dead. Okay. Well, we managed to keep the mimic alive. Never mind. Could have used the mimic to kill the slayers. For the moment, trying to push the roach queens as much as possible, because most of them are just going to die on the hot tiles over here. So I kind of want to just...
I feel the smallest... Did you not see this outcome? Ready to take a death nap?
These slayers are definitely causing trouble now. Yeah, if I had
You move with my hook reaches far.
if I had managed to kill the slayers, I mean, I can. Killing the slayers is really easy. Let's just take some time and do it. For some reason, I was fixated on the hot traps, the fire traps, but really, Just use the hot tiles. Were they all in the second row? No, they were higher than that. No, not there. Okay. Yeah, just kind of letting the chaos do the work there. Running around and getting stuff killed on traps. I wasn't a fan of this one on the previous level. It was a bit demanding. Okay, so bombs are gonna blow up really fast. Okay, this one might actually be a lot easier. I have to destroy those 4, these 2, and these 2, and that's it. Okay. Four. What was that? Why is this room empty? Well, it's hard to tell how long it's going to take to complete a floor there. If we finished 3 sets of 5 rooms. So I think that's pretty good for a showcase of what War 100 is all about. And this was the final of the DROD holds from 2025, so we'll be moving on to DROD RPG in the next part. I will see you then.